Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Product Buzz. I'm your host, Lacey Asher, and today we have a special guest, a very, very dear friend of mine. We've known each other for, oh God, I would have to say 5 years, 4 years. We were
Yeah.
trying to figure it out, but it's been some time.
Mm.
And I was very excited to bring him because, I mean, all my content, all my beautiful photos were done by John. And kind of wanted to bring you on and explain to everybody what goes on behind scenes, and I don't think people really understand all the work that goes into this. It's
Nothing to it. No,
nothing
just
to it. So tell us a little bit about you, like how you got into
Oh,
photography and
okay.
stuff.
Um, it was quite by accident, really, if you think about it. I come from the hairdressing world primarily. I mean, spent most of my life doing that. And one year we wanted to create a calendar for the salon, like every month, different hairstyle.
Yeah,
And
gotcha.
I thought, you know what, I want to do that. I just want to do it. So I had a bunch of gift cards from Christmas for Best Buy. So I went and bought a camera.
There you
And I
go.
chose Nikon. Don't ask me why. It could have been anything, Canon, Sony, whatever. I chose Nikon. Still shooting Nikon. Um, and that's kind of how it started. Never made the calendar, but that's how it started. And I guess from basically looking at fashion magazines,
Oh
like for
yeah,
years and years, my entire career, I kind of had a concept in my head of like what I wanted to create fashion wise. So
absolutely.
I bought a camera, a pretty good camera, and I actually bought more like accessory gear, like backdrops and stands and lighting, without really knowing how to use any of it, but just
I,
figuring
th-
like,
I think
okay,
we all do that.
if I can see that, I can probably put it together and create it. That's how it started, and then I took some workshops, some in Delray. There's a really great, the Photographic Institute is really good. The Palm Beach Photographic Center, they just moved up to West Palm, actually. It used to be right downtown Delray. And also took some workshops in New York at the International Center of Photography, which is really an awesome school. You can get a 4-year degree in that school if you want to, like, have a degree in photography. And a lot of film photography, which people, don't really realize with iPhones and digital cameras, but film's still a big deal.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, well, you've been on a few covers. I've seen your work and it's just absolutely I admire it. And
Thanks.
it's just absolute the artistic, the mind, everything that goes into it. Cause I feel like the photography I see now, like when I go on Instagram and stuff like that, it's not photography anymore. I feel like the artistic side is gone. It's just like kind of like, oh, look at me, selfie, and you can edit yourself any way you want, and everybody kind of looks the same.
Yeah. A lot of
And
filters, people use the same filter, so you get a lot of similarity. And
and
our they're making them better and better. The cameras in our phones are incredible.
oh
Like
yeah,
even shooting video, I'll use video footage from an iPhone occasionally
yeah,
in a video, So yeah,
sure.
they're really good, but not quite the same for photographically just yet. I don't know if it'll ever get there. I mean, but maybe they will. I don't know. But it's
Interesting.
the technology. It's incredible. Yeah,
Yeah, the weight of my phone now, it's like
heavy,
the camera.
heavy.
But when I look at myself in the camera, I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know, maybe we should like get rid of not so many megapixels.
Yeah, I
Like make
think
it a
that
little more grainy.
it's funny you said it because I've always felt like if Steve Jobs was still alive, the iPhone would be much lighter than it is today.
Oh my god,
He'd be
yeah.
like, "Make this lighter."
Yeah, the
But
camera is
yeah,
like most of the weight to
yeah,
the
the
camera.
lenses like
Yeah,
mine has 3 lenses.
so does mine.
Yeah, it's like
Thanks.
think
I love
about it.
that.
I
Yeah.
know.
Carrying it around. I'm ready.
Yeah. So,
And that's really cool.
yeah.
So I kind of the first time we met, I
Mm,
was going to talk about
mm,
how I came in, I was going for an audition for a Alice in Wonderland shoot you were doing,
yes,
and I
that's right.
had that
Yeah.
bleach blonde hair
Yeah, that's
and
right.
the straight
And
across
bangs.
bangs.
Yes, 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 yes. You were going to be Alice, so
Well, I had to talk my way into that because you were like, listen, no girl can be Alice because you girls are going to fight over who gets to be Alice. And
No.
I just laid it out. I was like,
You were going to be Alice.
I
No
mean, and
questions.
then finally you were like, okay, you know what? And you text me, you're like, how's Alice? I'm like, she's wonderful. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Never got to do that shoot though.
maybe
Someday. Yeah.
yeah, someday.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. Planning, that's it.
Yeah. And so when you do a shoot for a magazine, I know you've been published in Eclair quite a few times. How long does it take for you to get those like a set of photos prepared for them?
Oh, well, I mean,
Or
yeah,
any magazine
I,
at that?
I think most shoots, they're pretty much all the same. I mean, I gotta believe even the big boys are, we all do the same thing. Like you get a concept and then you look for some images to like storyboard your shoot, similar to film photography, like making a movie. You storyboard it out so you know where you're going. So you have images as to the style, the look, and then your stylist will choose the clothing, and you have makeup artists and hair,
Oh yeah.
and you kind of work on the look of your shoot, the concept. That's how it starts. Location. If there's a location, if it's not in a studio, you're in a location. Um, like the one time you and I, there was in Solstice magazine, we shot in a hotel room, which you actually came and helped with me to find location. When location hunting, we shot in a hotel in Fort Lauderdale. So that's just how it
Yeah.
begins. And then the post production is takes the most time because once the shoot is over, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours a day, 2 days,
Yeah.
once that's done, you spend days, weeks
I,
going through the photos,
I've
picking
been
the
down
ones you
that road
need, and
with
then
you.
post
Oh
producing
yeah.
them and making them perfect and stylizing them.
It's
That's the fun part for me. I kind of I'm like a little bit nerdy. I like getting in there and making it look good. So
Yeah, you're really good at that. I like the fact that when I see my photos, the raw image up to the
yeah, you're one
edited,
of the few that gets to see the before and after.
but you don't change them so much to the point where it doesn't look like me or look like the
Well,
actual photo.
yeah,
But like the eye that you have, where you correct like the crease in the clothing, how it
yeah,
changes the whole photo. Like I would have never thought of that, and
yeah.
you are like, do you know how long it took me to remove all those wrinkles out of that dress? And I'm like, oh
Yeah, when you don't
my
have a
goodness.
stylist on set, makes it so much more difficult. Yeah, like the expression, "Oh, you could fix it in Photoshop." You know what? Fixing things in Photoshop takes longer than getting it right in the camera the first time. It's like trying about
So we try to
get it right in the
get it right
camera.
through the
Yeah,
camera.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
And it's really nice though. Like you help just like weird things. Like when you
yeah,
turn your neck or you do certain things,
yeah.
like certain things you just got to remove.
Well,
I'm like,
that's
that's
where
not my
my
neck.
that's where my background in
Yeah.
hairdressing comes in. Because like from fashion magazines, I mean, like I see that. I've seen that. I'm so used to looking at that, and I get that that's what's necessary.
Yeah.
Um, and one cool thing was I had a workshop in Manhattan once on editing skin, which is difficult,
Mm.
where you want it to look like skin and not plastic. It's easy to over soften something or blur it out, but it doesn't look like real
Absolutely.
skin. And I had a class with this gentleman. He was his day job was editing the Victoria's Secrets models for their not their catalogs, but it was like all their photos that they put in their stores, those big posters, those blow ups.
Very cool.
He was and like so. There's no tricks. It takes a lot of work. Of course, he did say that they're perfect to begin with. So those girls are like, but it's still a hard job,
Yeah. Definitely.
regardless.
Definitely. Even like if it doesn't matter what age you are, if you turn your neck a certain way, you're going to have a crease or a line
Yeah,
there. And
yeah,
just to get rid of those little things, even though you can't see them in the raw image, but once you like kind of polish up that one image and take out just the littlest things, it turns that
it
photo.
changes
It
everything.
totally
Yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah,
It's not about taking somebody and
yeah.
making them look completely plastic. And that's what I love about your photography is that
Thank you.
it's just stunningly
Thanks.
gorgeous. And there was one that I was really inspired by. And this was on a shoot with Lauren.
Lauren, love
And
Lauren.
we kind of egged you on because I walked past the Helmut Newton book and I
Uh,
was like, I want to do that photo.
the cover.
And
Yeah,
Lauren's in the background cheering it on.
yeah,
She's like,
right.
"Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
Lauren.
movies. Let's do it." And you're with your camera, like, I don't know what to do with you two. And you're like, and secondly, that's a very hard photo. And I'm like, we're like, but why? And you're like, because of the shadowing in the back. And I kind of I did bring the photo to show.
Uh,
That's it. It was a very risque photo,
yeah,
but it was to me that's art. To me that's photography. But there's a shadow on the wall, and to do that with lighting is not the easiest. And John was trying to explain that to me and Lauren, who have no idea about photography and how it's done and the lighting
mm.
and this and that. And you're like, okay, girls, fine, have it your way. And there it is. It came out. And we put this photo up to the Helmut Newton photo, the original, and posted it on social media. And just to see them up next to each other is
You get
just
good reaction.
like, wow, we did that. We totally did that.
Yeah, that was a
And
tricky one because we weren't set up for that shot. We were doing other things, but
due to me and Lauren, we were like,
yeah,
yes, we can do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And you're like,
Okay,
fine,
all right, fine, let's do it.
fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, there's where Photoshop came in handy because, as I said, we weren't set up to actually shoot and replicate what he was doing. But with Photoshop, I was able to create a different background for you. But that is you. But the background wasn't there. That shadow wasn't there. Actually, I put that in there.
put that in.
Yeah, it's your shadow, but
It's
that is you as the shadow, but it wasn't there.
it's interesting, like how to do that. I would have never, and then because in that photo with the Helmut Newton original photo, when you look at it, that shadow is there.
Yeah,
So you're able to take that photo and actually do the shadow.
right.
It's very, 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 very cool.
When you hold that up, that's people can see that.
I think so. Can they see it? Yeah.
Awesome.
He's like, stop showing your boobies on there. He's
Well,
like, no. He's like, show it again. No, they're completely covered. And, the one thing about it is, to me, it's just like, it's an artistic thing. And every time I walk past the Helmut Newton book and I look at this old photography that I absolutely love, it's just it's unique. It has taste. It has thought. It has originality to it.
mm,
And then I'm like, let's do this.
extraordinary guy, Helmut
yeah.
Newton. Really, he changed the face of fashion photography. He really made it edgier and put nudity into a lot of the fashion
Mhm.
photographs. Not pornographic, but just like stylish, but nakedness. He changed it. Started with him primarily. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he stood out. He
Oh
just
yeah, yeah,
one
yeah.
thing with society, when everybody sees and is molded a certain way, and to be that one person to step out and say, hey, I'm me and I like what I like, and
Hmm, hmm.
fuck off,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's kind of pretty much what I catch from his photos.
yeah.
And I love that about people. I don't like it when, you don't have to fit a complete mold, but like, love who you are. And he's showing his talent and showing his eye and everything, not scared of what anyone's going to say, just be yourself.
Yeah.
And I admire that a lot. It's something that I was like, I want to redo that photo. But there was one thing about the photo that I couldn't
What's that?
I can't talk about it.
Okay.
With the original photo.
Nothing to do with the tape, is it?
No. So one thing the women had in that book back in that time
I remember.
have quite a lot of
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, say it. You're on YouTube. You can just say it.
Yeah, so the ladies back in that
Yeah.
time, they didn't shave. So
Yeah, personal grooming
yeah,
was different.
it was
Absolutely.
every time I would turn the page, I'm like, like, what is that? It's scary. But times have changed and things have changed, but that was like okay, just let it all out there. But that was interesting because when we zoomed into the original photo and we're like, oh, wait a minute.
We don't need to recreate that, right?
We're not doing that. We're so not doing that. But that it was really cool moment, and I share many every time we have shot and we've recreated Marilyn Monroe, we've recreated Helmut Newton. We've done things with the racing stuff back when I was doing the racing stuff.
Yeah.
You did this for us as well, and also our introduction, our intro, the intro video.
Yeah,
Like,
that was fun.
putting all that together. I couldn't thank you. I couldn't thank you enough. It means so much to me from my heart, and just being able to work with you and stuff like that. It's just amazing.
Thank
and
you. absolutely
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
well, I mean, I guess photographers, videographers, creatives. I mean, we all enjoy doing like personal projects as
Mhm.
opposed to being a paid project.
Yeah.
So it's fun to do. You get to be yourself, get to create something. That you're not being asked to create or paid to create or directed to create. You
Yeah.
get to do your own thing, which is it's fun.
Yeah, when you get a vision of something and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
do you think you can do this Marilyn idea for a shot? And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm no Marilyn. And nor do I look like her. And you're like, that's not the point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I'll try.
You did well.
And-
You even went out and got the sweater, which was quite
Oh,
amazing.
the replica of the
Yeah,
sweater
yeah,
remade
yeah.
was really cool. When it showed up, I
Yeah.
couldn't even believe it. It's like an iconic piece.
Mm.
And then I did more research on that one in particular photo of her at the beach in that sweater,
Yeah.
how famous it is. And
Ultra famous.
it opened
Yeah, I
my
can't
eyes.
remember if it was
Like,
George Barris or Milton Green, one of the two of those guys. That's yeah,
I,
great photography.
I believe it was Milton Green.
Milton Green, yeah,
Mhm.
he's shot her a lot, and George Barris as well. Um, yeah, and film photography, nothing overdone, just her,
His,
Marilyn Monroe.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, couldn't get a better subject. I
but
was told once, like, if you want to take better pictures, stand in front of better subjects. It's so true.
yeah,
Yeah,
that is well said.
yeah,
Well
yeah,
said. Yeah. It's when you have to redo so much and then it doesn't even look like that person anymore. It's kind of like,
yeah, yeah,
pointless. I don't see the
yeah.
when I see the on Instagram and Facebook and all of these things where they're highly overly edited. I just first of all, it's very obvious and it just doesn't look good.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
doesn't.
that's Photoshop. I mean, you can do amazing things,
Yeah.
and the trick is to not overdo things,
Right.
But and I think like fashion photography, it's like fashion photographers aren't trying to recreate something that's not there. Basically, we're trying to make everything just perfect. For
Right.
when you look at it in the magazine, you're like, it's perfect. You want it perfect. You don't want,
Right.
you don't want it not to be perfect. You don't want to create something that's not real,
Hmm.
but you just want to make whatever's there perfect.
Well, I mean, also like when I go out and go places and people have seen my photos, it has to somewhat look like me. Like I would
Yeah,
never
that's true.
want to
Yeah,
post
exactly.
anything that was like
Yeah.
so like
As
off the
opposed to a
charts.
dating app, right? When you
Oh
go,
yeah, and show up and be like, "Who are you?" I'm sure
sorry.
that's happened to a lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was on a dating site once, but I had to get off ASAP.
crazy.
I tried that and like, yeah, I was like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Like I never met anybody, but it was just like, okay, click, delete. No, no,
Yeah, I
thank
don't
you.
translate well on dating apps,
I
but
was just like, and then you don't really know who's on the other side. That's the other
that's the
creepy
other
thing.
thing. I know.
And it kept recommending like people that were, I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, this is just weird. It's just like one thing after the next. So I felt like, yeah, it's time to take that down. This is not working for me.
Yeah, that's
But
funny.
that's just not my way of meeting people. And but everything works for everybody. It's a big thing right now. I have
Mm.
so many friends and girlfriends that meet people and their loved ones and get married and they use those sites and they have a great time. So,
Yeah, no, they
good
definitely
for
work.
them. Yeah,
Just
for
gotta
sure.
filter your way through it somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So
How's this going?
it's
This
going
gets edited, I
pretty.
guess, right?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Are we good? Are we
Yeah. It's too bad you can't see what's happening when we're talking.
oh,
Oh, but
McKay can. Wave it.
well, yeah.
Say hi. So yeah, we don't have to finish the full time.
Okay.
If
But
unless we have
I don't care. If you got more questions, I don't
let's
care.
see, how long have you been
Oh
doing
yeah.
photography? That's a big one.
How long have I been doing photography? I started shooting in not really long, like 2008, I think was when I bought the cameras for the first time.
Okay.
2008. Yeah, so 14 years ish.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, but that's another
Yeah.
thing I've seen since we've known each other for quite some time. I see your work
Mhm.
when I first met you, and then I just constantly see the progression.
Mhm.
So it's not like it's just like constantly like I see it just better and better and better, and like it's just I don't
Yeah,
know, it's
thanks.
cool.
I try to, I read a lot and I watch a lot of videos on YouTube. I mean, there's
That's how
so much
you
information out there. I mean, probably every day I watch and I learn something. Even if I watch something and it reminds me of something I'd forgotten that I already knew,
yeah.
that's always so helpful.
I was referring to also when you did the video because that's not a thing that you do is video.
Mm,
And we did a video prior to, and it was like, but then the second one that we did for the introduction here
yeah.
was like you upped your game like times 100, and then
Yeah.
I came back and I was like, "What's going on?" Like
I read a book. No.
You're like, I read a book, I did this, I did that, and here you go. And I couldn't even believe my eyes.
That's
I was
funny.
like, and you're like, and by the way, sit down. Here's a microphone and talk.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, okay,
That was
time to
funny.
knock this out.
Yeah, that's funny.
But definitely, so
Yeah, video. Yeah, I should shoot more video actually. I don't really have a video camera. I'll use my iPhone. But I should maybe get involved in that a little bit more. I like it. It's fun. It's a different medium, it's interesting. Moving, and using different software. It's fun.
it definitely it's just different, and it's kind of like so many people are trying to like do these glamour beauty shots and all that. And that's just standing right there and saying, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Like it's not trying to look like, oh my God, look at me. I'm so beautiful. It's like, no, look at me. I'm standing here.
I like your expression in that photo, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll show it one more time. It's kind of cool. My mom's going to love this when she sees it.
Has she not seen that?
No, she's seen it, but like on the podcast, she's going to be like,
for the
Lacey,
whole
stop
world to
showing,
see.
stop showing that to everybody, please.
That's funny.
Hey,
I'm sure your mother is used to you by now.
It's kind of, we're cute because my mom's very proper, very lady, and very, very ladylike and stuff like that. Not like I'm not ladylike, but I have my moments where I just don't have a filter at all. Like there is no filter to me and you just never know what's coming next. And she's like, God damn it, Lacey, can you just stop it? And I'm
funny.
Like, no, I want to be me. I don't want to be someone else. I break all the rules.
Yeah.
I'm like a total rule breaker.
This is, you're pretty good at this. You seem like a natural at this, actually.
Really? Thank you. Coming from you.
Well, I mean, honestly, you haven't stopped talking.
Well,
Which is a good thing, I guess, right?
it's what you want. Like my first day, I couldn't talk. And I looked over and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But it's just about getting comfortable on the microphone and getting behind and just at first I was like, oh, I'm going to like have all my notes and talk about all this stuff and do this and do that. And then I said, fuck that. I'm going to just talk from my heart.
Yeah.
Talk about me. Talk about, do I have to say everything correctly? Do I have to know everything about everything? No, who the fuck does? And in fact, I'm tired of somebody like preaching to me like in a textbook.
Yeah.
If I want to read from a textbook, I'll go use Google or I'll go buy a textbook.
Or Al. Use Al.
Are we really going to go there?
No, okay, fine.
You can't tell my secrets.
Al won't care. Al's cool.
Listen, let's leave Al alone. He doesn't want to be in this show.
Okay, fine.
He's my buddy though. Don't hate on
He's a
Al.
pretty smart guy.
Oh yeah.
Knows a lot.
Yeah,
Never at a loss for words.
he's definitely helped out with a lot of projects. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you don't have notes, because like, you watch late night TV, sometimes they have like little things that they want to ask or whatever, like interviewing. But I think it's better to wing it and get,
and to be scripted
in the moment kind of an answer question,
Yeah. And I feel like too, if you use those kind of things, you're always going to have to need to use them instead of just like, I think a lot of people, I don't think, the product buzz, Lacey Asher, it's about the products and Lacey Asher in my point of view, not me using Google and taking information and then just relaying it on a podcast. Like I felt like, man, that's kind of cheesy. Why don't I just talk about how I perceive things, how I see things? It's everybody sees things differently. And
that's true.
It's if I want to share knowledge about hydration and nutrition and all of these things that I've done, through sports and stuff like that, I can share those things, but I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dermatologist. I can just tell you, hey, I've tried this and I had good results, and I tried this and I didn't have good results. But what works for one person doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for another.
That's
Because
right.
we're all built very differently. We're all different. Our skin is different. Our bodies are different. I went on a vegan diet once, and I saw
Yeah, I have a friend who was vegan for a couple of years and started having health issues. And as it turns out, she had to stop doing the vegan thing. It was really not good for her body at all. Which is interesting, I just think, it's vegan, it's good for you, but not necessarily. It depends.
I came back from Costa Rica and I saw my coach, my trainer, and he's like, listen, that's not for your body. I was skin and bones. I was just like, he's just like, you need meat. You need to eat protein. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey,
like a good burger,
Yeah, but it's like that's what my body needs, and I did. I felt low energy. I felt sickly, but then to the flip side, there's people that absolutely love it. It works good for them. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not here to say don't do it.
No, of course not.
Do what your body tells you to do. Listen to your body. If it makes you feel good, do it. You know, if it doesn't make you feel good, your body's starting to feel slow, tired,
Yeah.
maybe you should listen to it and say, what did I eat? What did I drink? What did
Yeah.
I do? And not do those things. And then you kind of go off of
Yeah.
that.
No, that's true.
Even with my skin, like products I try for my skin, some things people swear by. I go and buy it and I'm like, what the hell? Like
Yeah.
it like my face is all red and
Yeah.
it's just not my type of skin. So a lot about buying products and stuff like that, it's about knowing you
Mm.
to start with and like knowing the type of skin you have, knowing the, how your body is.
Yeah. I mean, my
And
only relation to products would be hair care products. I mean, like, and Jesus, every month
that
there's something new coming out. But yeah,
that was
there
one
are
of the
some
things I was
that,
going to ask you.
yeah.
What is your favorite
And honestly, you get
product?
what you pay for. You really do. The ones that are expensive, there's a reason they're expensive.
Okay.
Honestly, I mean, like, I think that probably would still be true. I can mention names, right? I mean, it doesn't, like the Kerastase product line, which is
Of
phenomenal,
course.
like spa level, which is part of L'Oreal. But that division of L'Oreal had its own, what do you call it? What am I looking for
Their
here?
own line
That wasn't their
or
own line.
their
Their own. I'm thinking copyright from photography, but it's not part of the L'Oreal company. It's a separate company. And even though they make products that are similar, it's not the same. The ingredients are completely different. They use pharmaceutical level ingredients,
Mhm.
which is why it's so expensive. But boy, it works. I mean, if you
Right.
buy a product that's not right for you, like if a hair care product that's not really designed for your hair, and you use it, that product works. You're going to hate it. You'll hate it because it's the wrong product you're using.
Oh yeah,
You
there's
know?
some that make my hair
Yeah.
greasy. I have very fine, thin hair, so
Yeah.
it's full, but my hair is actually very fine. So if
Yeah.
I put heavy product in it, it would have like an oily look to it. So I
That's
have
right.
to
Yeah.
be very careful
Yeah.
with what
So
I'm.
when you buy things online, typically, if they're being diverted products are always a problem in the hair industry. But you might be buying old product because it's less money. You're buying it old, that's why it's less money. Or you don't know if it's they're
Mhm.
pretty much prescriptive kind of products, so you don't know if you're really buying the right thing for you.
Yeah,
If your girlfriend's using it, looks great, you buy it, it doesn't work for you. How come? It's probably because you're not right for it. So I get
different.
what you're saying with when you buy things.
Oh yeah, like
So,
I get it home. Everybody swears by it. All my friends are like, it's the best, hottest new thing. And I get home and I'm like, well, it made me look like a grease ball. So I don't know what you girls are
yeah,
raving about,
yeah,
but they have different hair.
yeah.
So
That's right.
and skin and it's just how it is. But that's my yeah.
Skin, editing photos. I know too much about that. I know too much.
Oh my
I've
god.
seen too much.
But it puts the lotion on the
Oh
skin.
my God.
Come on. If you can't laugh at yourself, you don't laugh. You got
That's
to.
true.
You got to make jokes on.
Yeah, I'm looking at you and that Product Buzz logo.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely. Definitely a fan.
And the bumblebees were your idea. It's kind of cute.
Well, what goes with buzz?
I get it.
You got to buzz.
Buzzing around.
Buzz reminds you of bees.
Uh-huh.
Got to throw some bees in there.
Yeah, so easy.
Yeah. But it just,
Photoshop.
they were actually there. What do you mean? Those are real bees.
No, I told you that. You believed me.
Oh my god. But yeah, when this was all done and I looked at it and I showed it to my mom, she looked at me with this big smile and she's like, "It's really good, Lacey. Like that looks
Okay,
really
mom
good."
approves. It's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, she's brutally honest and she will say, whether something is, I'm like, "Hey, can you like not be so like harsh?" And she's like, "Nope." She's like, "That bra doesn't go with that shirt." And I'm like, "How can you see through my shirt?" She's like, "I just can." I'm like, "Oh, come on. Like, leave me alone." She's
That's
like,
funny.
"Those shoes don't go." I'm like, "Your shoes don't go." Like, leave me. This is our conversations. It's so funny.
Oh my God.
It's funny. But I listen to her because she watches all the YouTube videos on style.
Mm.
So she's picked up some really amazing styling
Yeah.
tips. So like I know to ask her like, "Hey,
Yeah.
what do you think of this?" She's like, "Oh, I don't know. Those shoes and come here. I know how to tie that shirt
my
and
God.
do all these crazy things that I don't know how to do." But she loves it. Like she absolutely loves those.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You have a built-in second opinion.
Oh my gosh, she's fat. She's definitely stylish.
Cool.
Yeah. She's trying to keep up with it. But she's actually keeping up with it more than I am. That's the funniest part. I'm like, "Go, mom, if I." Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Are we good?
I'm good.
All right.
You asked
So
me everything that we cover enough stuff?
that was it. Just basically talking,
Yeah.
chilling, and
Okay.
it was really cool
Photography.
for you to come in because I keep over and over and over. I post your photos constantly, and to be able to have you in the studio with us to actually put a voice and a face with the actual work, it's really cool. And thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you.
inviting me. It's fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
got to do it again sometime.
Okay,
All
that's cool.
right.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Bye.